Sims Nation Warriors, welcome to another edition of Warriors Unleashed. I'm your host, Positively Pat Sims. I want to welcome our live audience tonight on WANT Radio. Always great to be broadcasting live on the original home of Positively Pat Sims. And I also want to welcome all of our viewers on YouTube and who are going to be able to take advantage of our interactive live chat tonight. We've already see Kimberly Miracles on here, my wife Kim Sims on there, my buddy Chris Hall is on here, as well as our regular from all the way from Australia, Maddie, Mr. Marijuana. Light up a fatty for this Warriors Unleashed. Here we go. The Pat we want to see. That's right. Woo! All right. And I am all jacked up. I'm ready to go. Today is a great day, guys. It is, last month we were plugging all month. Vengeance, right here, my very first book that came out. Today, I am even more excited because of my very first original music album. I'm going to get myself emotional just talking about it. But my very first original music album, Catching Stars, is now available across all streaming platforms. I am super excited. It's great. But also today is the 5-year DDPY anniversary of yours truly. That's right. 5 years ago on this day, I began my journey to take ownership of my life. And it has paid off in ways that are absolutely incredible. And one of the most incredible things about this journey is the people that you meet along the way. And that brings me, of course, we're going to get going here. And I want to start bringing in all of these incredible people that have been a part of my life, whether it should be just for a couple of weeks or months to years. And let's get started right off the bat. I'm gonna change the order up here because she's right here on the screen. So we might as well say hello and give some time. First of all, good morning. I'm so used to the morning show. Good evening, Pam Riley. Welcome to the program.
Oh my word! That beginning, what do you call that just played for all of us?
I just call it my opening video.
Your opening video, Pat. Oh my word! I'm watching that thinking, this is like a celebration of life, fighting to our way to the top, right? Always fighting for the best possible you can become. Oh, that's so cool. And by the way, congratulations on the amazing book. And yeah, now an album. I just hope you remember me when you're rich and famous, that you'll remember you and I have been friends.
How could I forget? You and I are the emotional wrecks of DDPY. We cry at this. We cry at the slightest little thing. My favorite part of that video. So I'm skydiving, right? And you can see me at one point. I do this while skydiving, and you see the guy behind me go, "No." Like you see him move my hands. He's like, "Don't do that."
Yeah. And then he did his own hand move.
Right.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Pretty sure you were paying for that. You could have done it yourself,
yes.
Right?
Yep. All right. So Pam has her own incredible story, and one of the best things about, like I said, celebrating an anniversary for DDPY isn't just, I talk about myself all the time. This is my show. But I want to give Pam some time to tell her story. So Pam, the floor is yours. Tell everybody about Pam Riley Rebuild.
Yeah. Well, you know how it is, Pat. You've told your story enough that you're thinking, doesn't everybody kind of know the story?
Right.
But, probably one of the latest updates is like a week ago I turned 71.
Woo!
So, and I joined DDPY January 20th, 2022. And at that moment, I was only getting busy, ready to die. I'd lost mobility, had morbid obesity, lived in chronic pain, couldn't even walk across the street to take something to a neighbor. So in that journey, Pat, I just, when my son brought that to me, I thought, this might be my last chance. I guess I'll give it a whirl. Mind you, I already had our cemetery stone filled out, put in the ground, funerals planned, everything. I was just thinking that way. Then our son brings DDPY to us. And what can I say? I began to to follow the system. I believe everything about what they put together. Within about 8.5 months, I was down over 80 pounds, 77 inches gone, and I was walking. One of the days I went to a Disney thing on my 9th month, a Disney park with some family members. Got back to the car at the end of the day, and it showed that I had done something like 25,000 steps.
Yep.
Mind you, when I started, just 8 or 9 months before that, if I could walk 1,000 steps, I needed a full nap, and I was in so much pain. So what DDPY gave me in such a short time by following what they taught was incredible, Pat. Absolutely incredible. And it's only gone up from there. I've had a chance to pay it forward in every possible way. Probably, Pat, one of the things I'm so excited about is that just now 2 years ago, Dallas and Steve, you launched the 55 plus Facebook group.
Yep.
Yeah. The funny thing, Pat, is when Steve called me, he said, we've thought about launching this for a couple of years. If we did, would you be willing to kind of head it up? And at the time I thought, am I a senior? Because he called, we're going to launch a senior thing. I'm like, am I a senior? Because
I'm not a senior.
Even though I would have been 69 the day he called me, right? But I never thought of myself as a senior and taken advantage of that. So it's been a fun ride. And I'll never forget, Pat, the day you and I met. It was at a Christmas party at Dallas and Paige's house.
That's right.
And I couldn't wait to meet you. And when you came around the corner, I've been happily married, just for the record, 50 years. But I did kind of attack him, and I think it scared you almost. But it's like, he's real. He's the real deal. Because you and I are kind of kindred spirits.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't wait to meet you, Pat. You are everything and more that I thought from the moment I knew you. You are all of that and much more.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Pam, I love you. And
I love you too.
And I remember that Pam made me feel like a rock star. I was like, ooh, I'm somebody.
Well, and it's true now, right? It's totally true now.
That's right. Now I am positively Pat Sims. I want to welcome Brad Grigsby to the program, my fast track client and one of the studs of DDPY right now, just absolutely crushing it. I'm so proud of Brad. He is doing amazing things. He was just recently featured in Transformation University. Awesome job, dude. You are an inspiration, brother. And all right, I want to move on to our next guest. And now we're going to go back to alphabetical here. So the next guest that we are bringing up here is the author of the best-selling book, Out of the Darkness, A Spiritual Awakening Journey. That's right. I got my copy right here. This is, I literally paid extra to get it here today so that I could have it for the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Warriors Unleashed, the one and only Angela Dolina.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Love having you on here. It is such a pleasure. I mean, we did shorts. We always do shorts of our really good shows. And Angela got a whole bunch of shorts, and the majority of them, because I use an AI program to create them, the majority of them was us talking about tattoos.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, hello, I got plenty of them. So, but Angela, I always do that to you. What that is your name? I think it was I was calling you Angelina one time.
Oh my gosh, many people have done that.
Right. Yeah. But Angela, I heard about you. I'd seen a little bit here and there. You're doing a lot of really cool stuff on TikTok. Of course, you just released your book not that long ago. It is available on Amazon, by the way. Go over there. You can get it paperback or Kindle versions.
Yes.
Right. Same place you can find my book, right there. But she was joining up and doing a bodybuilding competition down there with Steph and Jason, and I was very impressed with with what it takes to get up and do that in the first place, and that's where I started following you, and then we connected, and boom, went from there. So Angela, do me a favor. This is your time now. Tell the people your story. The floor is yours.
Oh man, it feels so weird to say my story again because it it literally feels like a lifetime ago. Is such a long time ago, but it really wasn't. So for 2 decades, I struggled with anxiety, panic attacks, depression. I never fit in. I just attracted all these abusive relationships, whether romantic or friendship. And in 2016, I was diagnosed as ADHD, and I was put on like a plethora of medications, including anxiety medication, ADHD medicine, and blood pressure medicine at 30 years old. So I was on this medication for 5 years. I actually started to feel better about myself until the medicine stopped working. And I ended up in the hospital right before COVID. The medication was at a very high dose, stopped working. I couldn't sleep. And I essentially, what the doctor said, I went manic 3 times in a span of like 2 months. They diagnosed me as bipolar, and I blew up like 30 pounds. So at 5'3", I was around 160 at my heaviest. And for 8 months, I was on mind-numbing medication. I had no creativity, which was just heartbreaking to me because I felt like I had no connection to myself or my soul at all. And at the 8-month mark, I had enough. And I don't recommend anybody to do this. This is just what I did. I took myself off the medication and started to heal myself naturally and found DDPY. This was like the 3rd time it was introduced. And I lost 40 pounds in the first year, and I lost 50 pounds total. And I started really finding myself through holistic medicine. I went all natural. I changed my diet, and I wrote a whole book about it.
Yeah.
I'm writing my second now. Actually, over 22,000 words into my second book.
Wow.
I have such a passion talking about how I really found my gifts, getting all the toxins out of my body, and finding strength that I never knew I had, mentally, spiritually, physically, like all of it combined. And I have such a passion of helping others with tools that I found worked for me. So that's where I'm at right now.
Well, I like it. And hey, you know what, guys? Don't be scared, because look, there's pictures in the book. See?
Yeah.
It's not all words, guys. There's pictures to help you follow along. But no, it's absolutely fantastic. Angela's been a great guest to the program multiple times now. Once on the Positively Pat Sims radio program back in the day, and once here for Warriors Unleashed. So thank you very much for being a part of this show and my 5-year DDPY anniversary.
Ooh, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I want to say hello to, in the chat here, my good friend, the Diamond Standard and the voice of PCW, the one and only Doc Haywood. Doc, if you're still on, Doc, you have not sent me any information for me to plug PCW tomorrow. So if you got anything for me, send it over so I can boost your numbers, because that's what I'm here for. Excuse me. For those of you that don't know, by the way, you can't see it, but I wear this a lot right here. I want to make mention of this. Our good buddy Scott French would make these coins here, and they're very, very cool. This was a gift for me in 2022 from one of my fellow champs, Stephanie Kelly, gave this to me. And this coin and I have traveled everywhere together. This coin and I represents my journey in DDPY, and this has gone to WrestleManias. This has gone to theme parks, Knott's Berry Farm, Disneyland. This has gone everywhere that I have gone over the last, 4 years, because I got it in 2022. So, but let's get to our next guest, and I would like, you're only separated by one letter, like one vowel even. So, Angie, say hello real quick as I throw your name up here. So, so that I can give you I want to do a proper intro. There we go. I want to give you a proper intro with you on the screen here, because for those of you watching, she looks fantastic right here, and you may not recognize her right away. And the first time you popped up on my Facebook feed, I will say, I was like, who is this mermaid? But then just like shortly after, I mean, I looked and I was like, I know this person from somewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, the very first thing I ever did when I did DDPY was the Diamond Dozen, and she was there. One of the first workouts you start doing as you go through even the beginner workout schedule is Stand Up 2.0. She was there. Ladies and gentlemen, Angie Cunningham, who we all have seen doing DDPY at some point in our journey. Welcome to the show, Angie.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
One of the best things, so I get to learn about Angie a little bit more here, but also after we've all been introduced and we get into our next segment, guys, that's the big one where I want to hear how Angie got into life after her success, because if you don't know, get ready, stay tuned, because it's going to be a lot of fun. So, but Angie, the time is yours now. Let's hear your DDPY story and take it away.
Well, I'm going to take us back over 10 years. I weighed about 300 pounds. I was going to pick up my son at his after-school program, and one of his friends said, "Who belongs to the fat mom?"
Oh.
I saw my son's face, and I said, I will never hurt him again like that. Just coincidentally, maybe a couple weeks later, I'm on Facebook, and I get a friend request from the Dallas page. I'm like, that's an imposter. Can't be. No. I'm like, no, I'm not having it. He messaged me back, and he's like, I'm going to have my man Garrett get with you. And I knew enough about DDP yoga at that point. I'd never done it, hadn't met him before, never communicated, not been in any of the groups, nothing. But I knew when Garrett was involved that it was the real deal. So on September 11th, I spoke with Dallas and at the time Brenda, and we worked out this arrangement where as long as I stayed transparent with my journey, he would work with me, and it would be a communication where at least once a week, and a lot of times it was daily, to get me to lose the weight. I had to agree to follow all of the guidelines and the fitness. And in the meantime, I'd also started looking into the sleeve stomach surgery. And I was so afraid of disappointing him. But after having lost about 25 pounds with DDPY, I went ahead and did the surgery, but immediately went back into the program doing the workouts. And in about 18 months, lost over 100 pounds. By the time I was done and got to where I wanted to be and was filming for Stand Up 2.0, I was down 150. And I have since now continued to push it, and I am now officially down 200 pounds.
Wow. That's incredible. And Angie, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you actually correct Dallas?
Probably.
Because I believe he says like what you lost or something like that, and you were like, it's such a. I love that. I went
from a 6 to a 6, and now I'm wearing double zeros.
And I want to be honest. I'm always honest on the show. A lot of people think that I give a lot of flack to, the Ozempic craze and the. You talked about the sleeve, the you got gastric bypass and things like that. But I've always said like that the key here is that you need to do the right things in order to change the habits that got you to where you're going. Using things as a quick fix is where I see the problem, right? When you're doing something because you don't think you can achieve, and so you just want to get thin, you want to get skinny, right? That's where I see the issue, right? You're seeing a lot of celebrities now, and they're shrinking very quick. It's an image thing. That's where I have the problem with it. I what you did, you used that as a tool that you needed to help you get your life back and to get healthy. So I applaud you for that. That's great. You changed the habits that got you to where you were, and now you're doing incredible things, and that's fantastic.
By the time I actually had the surgery, my stomach was stretched out so much that they said that it was the size of a football.
Wow.
So for me, going into that, wanting to get healthy, I had to actually recreate the wheel and put things back the way they belonged so that I could do that in a healthy way.
Right. Right. All right. Very, very cool. Let's keep rolling because the special guests keep coming. We're out of the A's. We got Pam in there. Now we're moving on to the J's. And now it's time. Say hello, Jennifer, real quick so we can get you up on that screen.
Hey, guys.
And here she is.
Took me a second.
And also a returning guest who's been on also on the Positively Pat Sims radio program, as well as Warriors Unleashed. And she also took part in some shows that probably weren't her expertise. I did really well, though. You did.
I did amazingly well.
You did a preview show for one of our WWE event shows, and I remember you also were involved in one of our top 10 list shows. That was a lot of fun. That I had fun with that. Yeah, that was you were there when we were still a little aimless on what we wanted the show to be, and it just now we're a lot more focused here. So, but it's great to see you, Jennifer. Always great. Jennifer has a newer workout on the app. Is it Work It or Working It? It's one of the two.
It's Work It.
Work It, yeah. And it's very good. I did it the day after. I usually can't do it the day of because I already have it planned out and I doing something else while it's live. But the day after I did it, it's a good one. It's a good it's a good solid level 3 workout. And relatively short. Like for what you pack in.
Sometimes you only have 30 minutes, right?
Right.
Sometimes you just got to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I say when I start leading my family in a workout, and then 50 minutes later, we're still going. All right, but Jennifer, it's now the time is yours. Go ahead and let everybody know your DDPY story and take it away.
Yeah. So, Angie, you were like the first fast track client then, if you think about it. You said you were doing weekly check-ins. But it rang true to me what you said because my kid was a part of my journeys starting too. I am a mom of 2 boys, active boys, Boy Scouts, so lots of high adventure and outdoor stuff. And I kind of live for participating in that with them for a while. So I was at an event and it was like a high ropes course kind of thing. And the first thing that you had to do is you had to hoist yourself up this like really widely spaced runged ladder. And you couldn't even like reach the first rung without like lifting your body up with your hands, with your arms. And you were supposed to like grab your kid and be his partner and do it with him. And I couldn't do it. And I'm getting choked up now because it breaks my heart still to this day, 6.5 years later, that I couldn't do it. And my bestie at the time, she offered to be his partner and she took him up even after she took her own kid up. And so he was okay, but I wasn't. And I was angry and I was embarrassed because I'm pretty competitive and I was sad. And I had a lot of FOMO going on too because that looked pretty fun. So I spent about 6 months kind of wallowing in the misery of it and just feeling like, well, I guess this is just what it is to be getting older. You know, I'm in my 40s now and things change and that's what it is, you know. And then one day I just had enough of feeling that way. I don't know what the catalyst was exactly, other than I think I'm going to try this DDPY thing that my friend does. I think it's weird, but I think I'm going to try it. And I don't know, all of a sudden I started being able to do things, and I started feeling strong, and I started being able to do push-ups, and I started to be able to really participate. And I had this sort of moment where the very thing I couldn't do at that event, I did that. I lifted myself up onto a ledge. I didn't even realize I was doing it. It was like I did it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I just did that. And it was just, it was a moment of sheer like joy and elation and feeling like me again. Like I just felt like me again, ready to be active.
Right.
So I had an amazing first year with DDPY. Weight loss was not a primary goal of mine, but I did trim out, just under 20 pounds just to get a little bit more lean. And then I was feeling so good and strong that I decided one day I would commute to work on my bicycle. And my husband was like, I don't want you to do that. And I said, why? And he said, because people get hit by cars all the time on bicycles in South Florida. And it's true. It happens all the time. But I was like, and also they don't. So I'm just going to try. It's like, I think a lot more people don't get hit every day than do.
I think the odds are in your favor.
Yeah. They were for the first 8 miles. And then 10 miles in, I got introduced to a Corolla.
Oh.
So I broke my back, and I could do nothing again for 6 weeks. And not only was that obviously physically uncomfortable, that was very mentally uncomfortable for me to have gained so much structure and discipline around fitness. And then all of a sudden I'm like forbidden, to do anything for 6 weeks. It was very hard. I felt guilty. I felt like, oh gosh, I really shouldn't have done that after all. But when the 6 weeks finished and I was cleared to exercise again, 2 weeks later, with nothing but DDPY, I was right back where I was in the beginning, like 2 weeks. And that's when I realized that this was so integral to well-being. And that's when I signed up to coach and teach, to be an instructor. There weren't fast track coaches yet,
right.
but I just knew I had to bring this crazy, amazing, fun, weird, awesome program full of amazing, crazy, weird, awesome people to the world. I just had to bring it to as many people as I could. So that was the start of my instructor and coaching journey, a year after my personal journey.
Well, that's very cool. I felt like when you were describing everybody, I thought you were just talking about me there for a second. Just, but no, it's fantastic. And one of the great things about joining up now and stuff is just the amount of instructors that you can now see on the app. My buddy Dr. Tom is on there. Jennifer's on there. There's just so many instructors that you can now get a chance. And when I first started, of course, I just had the DVDs, and so it was only Dallas. And then when I got the app, it was like, it opened up to where now I had Hayden, and there was some Paige in there. But now it just keeps growing, and that's fantastic. That's one of my goals, is to get out there and instruct on that stage. That would be very, very cool. All right, next up on our trip through the greatest hits of DDPY, and as Jennifer said, the strong, powerful warrior women of DDPY, still going in alphabetical order here, because Scotty's not here yet. But just so you know, Scotty Boots should be jumping in at some point tonight, hopefully. Very busy man, that Scotty Boots. But say hello really quickly, my good friend Maria, so that we can get Maria up on that screen.
Hello.
There she is right there, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of my fellow 2021 DDPY Positively Unstoppable Challenge champions. That's still a mouthful. And Maria and I met in Atlanta, Georgia. This is going to sound really weird, but stick with me here. In the back of a van.
A white van.
Yeah, a white van. Driven by Steve Yu next to Brian Gray. That
was ultimately a stranger at that point.
Right. we didn't know each other from Adam, and when you sat in that bench, that thing would come unhooked. Oh, I'm losing my mind. It was so funny. The thing would just like.
It was one of the first methods in which Steve has fought against me and plotted against me.
That whole week was essentially like Steve versus Maria. It was amazing, and it still goes on today.
It's still a thing.
Yes, Steve will still talk about how Maria cheated at Topgolf to this day.
But he says win wrong. Like he says it as cheated, but he meant bested me.
Right, exactly. I mean, I was there. I witnessed this. It's funny. I wasn't able to play that day. I hadn't had my shoulder replacement yet, so I wasn't able to play Topgolf with you guys. And it's funny. I did 2 years later after the shoulder replacement, which was really cool. That was like a moment for me.
Oh yeah.
But Maria,
well, I didn't get to play that time.
No,
you're welcome.
Yeah. But Maria, in all truth, I love Maria, and Maria has been a guest on this show also multiple times. She is our resident WWE expert, and she also, fun fact here, Maria appeared on the very first episode of the Positively Pat Sims radio program in June of 2023. When she and my buddy Ashton Harris played a rousing round of Master Debaters, which was the Saturday morning cartoon edition, and Maria knew nothing about any Saturday morning cartoons and still won. It was still to this day one of my all-time favorite moments of the show. It's like my wedding vow renewal. And then Master Debaters with Ashton and Maria.
On the first episode too.
First episode.
Just came out killing it.
How was I going to top that? Like, I literally was ready to retire after that first episode.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But Maria,
well, congrats. You've made it this far.
Yeah. I just keep BSing my way through every episode since. But Maria,
that's how the first episode started.
Maria has one of my favorite overall stories because it's going to feed into our segment after we get to know everybody, which is, again, we have some awesome guests here, and everybody's done some incredible things with what I call life after success. And Maria's is one of my favorite because it touches me in my feel goods. It touches me right here in the heartstrings. But the journey leading to that is very incredible as well. And Maria, you had some of the best quotes during your video and any video from there on out. The there is no magic formula. Like the way you said that whole thing was just beautiful. But I want you to take your time now. No Saturday morning cartoon talk as much as you might want to. This is not a wrestling show, so just be aware.
Right. Leave out the WWE stuff.
Yeah, because she's just so
I'll
educated.
Just save it for my dissertation.
Right. I have educated Maria on pro wrestling more than she probably ever thought she would be educated on pro wrestling in her entire life.
Ever.
So Maria, go ahead, take it away. The floor is yours.
Okay, so let me think, because time is so relative now. Back in 2020, I guess, yep.
COVID.
I was an assistant principal at that time, and I decided I'm gonna lose weight. It was time. It was sort of the same thing as I want to say Angie said. It was just one day where I was just kind of like, I'm done. It might have been Jennifer. I'm so sorry. I'm also making a star prep like testing thing on my computer at the moment. But I'm just kind of done. I'm not accepting the discomfort anymore.
Right.
And I saw Vance on just an ad that popped up on Facebook, and I was like, well, shoot, if he can do it, what's stopping me? Right. And I had everything stopping me. I could make any excuse not to work out. I call it my garbage knee. I tore my ACL when I was like 12, and my life has never really been the same. And I mean, I'd even say my hair, like I can't work out because of my hair. Like it takes too long to do, and then I have to get ready for work again. Like I can make any excuse. And I was at the time 363 pounds. Um, excuse me, allergies in Texas. Uh, and so in 2020, I really got into it. By November of 2020, I had lost 100 pounds, which was amazing. And I posted about it on the DDPY Facebook page. And that's when like later that evening, I was multitasking as I always am. And I was in a graduate class virtually. And I was also doing my DDPY for the evening. And then the phone rang, and I thought it might have been a parent or something because I didn't recognize the number. So I answered the phone, and it was all I hear is "Mruh," and I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "This is Dallas Page," and I was like, "Okay." Like I, who is this? And he said, "It's Dallas," and I was like, "I'm in Dallas." Like I kept telling my stuff to the stranger. I don't know what's happening, and no, it's Paige. Oh, I got you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Do you hear yourself in the background? I'm literally doing my workout right now. It was so funny. I will always remember that. That was crazy. And he gave me some good advice. He said he was going to keep following up with my stuff. He encouraged me to enter the Positively Unstoppable Challenge the following year. And then that's when I did. I also had this underlying why of I was about to be 30 years old and I really wanted to start a family. And nobody told me I can't start a family. Like nobody ever said that like wasn't a good idea. But for me in my mind, it just didn't seem healthy at 363 pounds to try to get pregnant. By the end of 2021, I had lost 172 pounds.
Yep.
And that's when I got the call that I was one of the 2021 Positively Unstoppable champions. And then met Pat and all my wonderful friends in Atlanta in December. And then the next month, I was pregnant with girl baby and boy baby, who are now Alice and Aaron. And they're my most beautiful twins. It was very efficient. Only had to do that one time. Have a girl and a boy, and we're done now. And since then, we've just been living life. Still trying to figure out like, before babies, I could do DDPY every day. It was like the same as like brushing your teeth. Like I could do it twice a day even.
Right.
But now with kids, I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably do that. Like there's a lot going on.
Right.
And so I'm still trying to find the routine in it, but I still keep up with my DDPY family. And even somebody from the program said, you're exactly what the program was for, though. Like,
right.
To now go on and live your life. Like you did your goal, and now let's go on and live your life. And I'm doing that to the fullest. We do all the things. The other day we went fossil hunting.
Wow.
And, that's not something that I could have done. We were like, getting down into like holes in the ground and we couldn't, ravines and stuff. And that's not something I could have done when I was bigger. And I'm able to do, we got our forever home out here, and we're now in Saginaw, Texas. And I've been doing all the DIY, not DDPY, DIY projects around the house, which again, couldn't have done back then. Absolutely couldn't have done. And it's, I've painted walls. I put up this paneling behind me, put up the panel. I put up the sconces. Like I've changed all of the lights. All of the lights have been changed. There's not an original light in here. Like it's just a bunch of different stuff and projects and putting stuff together that I every time I'm doing something, I'm like, I couldn't have done this 6 years ago. I couldn't have done this.
Right.
And that's crazy to me. And because it's so natural now. So that's sort of my story. Is I got the most beautiful gift of Alice and Aaron in it. And then the also beautiful gift of getting to live my life with them and not be held up by limitations.
Yeah. And really quickly, for those of you who might be looking at the live chat right now, and being very, very confused by what was posted. So during the Maria's appearance on Master Debaters, she was arguing against DuckTales. I don't remember what she was arguing for, but she was arguing against DuckTales and essentially called them white privileged ducks.
No, I said white duck privilege.
Oh, white duck privilege. Sorry. It was hilarious, by the way. It was absolutely hilarious. How she,
I want to know what was said in the chat, because out of context, yes, that is
it
crazy.
was, my wife just put privileged ducks because it wouldn't let her write white privileged ducks.
Kim, let's get shirts.
Let's get shirts. I like that.
Shirts. I love it.
All right.
I love Kim. She's my superhero. I love her so much.
I know. She's my rock. But
mine too.
We have I'm trying to see. It looks like Scotty made it in here. So Scotty, can you say hello for me real quick so I can see you, because you're hidden on my screen here. Tick. I mean, Maria, you could pretend to be Scotty if you want.
I mean, the allergies are really hitting my voice. I feel like I could hit the octave really well.
Yeah. I've been singing along to myself all day. All right, I'm asking Scotty to unmute. Let's see if he can, if he's able to jump on here. But there he is. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, which means I can officially change this here. Look at that. Look at that Scotty Boots right there. Isn't that is how you show off Scotty's name right there. Just boom.
What's going on, dude?
But
that's beautiful.
But Scotty Boots, my man right here. Scotty is my hero when it comes to collecting. Like whatever you see around me, it pales in comparison to the king that is Scotty Boots. But no, in all reality, Scotty has always been somebody that I've been following since I started getting involved with the DDPY groups. Number one is his initial transformation was incredible, but also what he's done since. Like I said, it's one of my favorite things is seeing what people have done since their initial transformations and their initial success. And Scotty motivates me every day to get it done. I mean, Scotty, your transformation from the unhealthy big version of you to the teeny tiny version of you, and now we've got the built you, right? You know, the muscular hanging sideways on a pole you and doing pull-ups like it's nothing. Like, it's just absolutely incredible. So it is an honor to have you on here. Scotty's was able to make an appearance a long time ago when we first started as well on the Positively Pat Sims show. But it is a pleasure to have you on here, and I would like you to take this time to walk us through your initial journey to what led to eventually the 2020, the year before me, becoming a DDPY Positively Unstoppable Challenge champion, the COVID era championship. So you did something that most people would only have dreamed of doing during COVID. So take it away, brother. Tell us all about Scotty Boots.
Yeah, sure thing, man. So yeah, I guess from taking it from the beginning with everything, really kind of, you know, I guess probably with a lot of people's stories too, it kind of starts with, you know, you have a lot of self-talk that you're going to do something, and you just toggle back and forth. You do okay for a little bit, you keep falling off, and you know, eventually something just clicks, something a little bit different. And for me, it was on March 8th of 2020, at the park, hanging out with the family and kind of running around with my daughter. And I always I say this all the time, so it's probably getting old now, but I always joked around and still kind of do whenever I talk about, you know, like the past. And I always had kind of like Chris Farley energy, or like the big guy who could always move. And I think that's because I had just barely enough discipline to keep it together when I would be performing musically, because not only playing bass in the band, but also being the lead vocalist and everything, I had at least enough discipline on days that I had shows to make sure I would be in my best performance. So I was good on the weekends for the most part. Um, so I always had this Chris Farley big energy. I always could run around at the park, but this one day I was just feeling just very sluggish. Wasn't feeling like I wanted to get up on the equipment, and I could feel it. I really felt something different, and it clicked for me right there at the park. And I remember as we were leaving, um, told my family, I was like, listen, this is the deal. I'm like 100% like everything is changing tomorrow. Like I feel the shift. I am 100% doing this for myself, and I'm doing this, for my family and everything. I'm like, but first, I was like, tonight we're gonna go to a Chinese buffet, and we did. So, closed the buffet out that night. Woke up the next morning, weighed myself, and just haven't looked back since. So, it all started like officially March 9th of 2020, and basically what I did is I just kind of rewired myself into this new lifestyle change. And as opposed to approaching things with the mentality of exercise and diet and all of that, and there's nothing wrong with those words at all. It's just I tried that so many times, it just wasn't working for me. So I went into it with a new mentality and just called it a lifestyle change. Like I'm just hopping into this. I'm going cold turkey. No more BS. We're going full throttle. And basically to keep things simple for myself. And I preach this to people, who are trying to get started, is really just try to keep things simple. And that's what I did for me, as opposed to kind of jumping into everything, trying to stay so strict to a diet and overthinking and analyzing food and calories and just so much of that stuff. At least for me, it got me so mixed up in my head that the focus became more about that mental wear and tear versus the benefits of what that is supposed to be doing for you. And that's what would derail me for the longest time. So I just kept it simple. I went to a no sugar, high protein kind of a diet and or lifestyle change rather. And I didn't really overthink food. I kept everything very simple. If it met those categories, if it was no sugar, high protein, I was good to go. And I would run with it. I was keeping low carb throughout all that. I started doing intermittent fasting, and that's pretty much how I approached my new food intake. And then I kept a really basic, simple rule for my exercise, which was basically I had to work out at least 2 days in a row, but I couldn't take more than one day off. So that was easy enough for me to get started and follow, knowing that if I worked out on a Monday and a Tuesday, and if I really felt like I needed the Wednesday, it wasn't discouraging because I built that rule. So I knew if I wanted to take that Wednesday off, then I had no option but to go Thursday and Friday. So I kept very true to that. I stayed cold turkey for like 7 to 8 months, and that's kind of when I lost all the weight and lost just over 100 pounds. And once the weight came off, and it was kind of like this, less about losing weight and more about this passion and love for health that I really kind of developed across the journey. My whole outlook on life and health was 100% different from when the whole thing started. So then I kind of went into that next evolution phase, which was what do I want to do to repair my body, tone my body, fill in some space. I think all of us, when you go through like a dramatic weight loss, especially kind of like a short period, you have some loose skin, you've got some areas. And it was just like my focus was like, what do I want to do next? Because I fell in love with this so much to where I couldn't continue the same thing I was doing for weight loss because that wasn't going to be sustainable. Something needed to change, and I didn't want to have like a relapse situation. So it was like, what's this next phase going to be? And I started changing up how I was eating a little bit. The jack straps came out right at that time, which then evolved into the power cuffs, of course. But right when the jack straps started, I started using those, doing the jack workouts. And that really helped a lot just to kind of tone up, starting doing more intense, DDPY workouts and such. And that really helped to kind of repair my body and start kind of like toning up, tightening up a little bit and such. And once I put a lot of energy into that, I kind of evolved into that next phase where I was like, okay, I think I'm kind of at this point where I want to actually take, putting on a little bit of weight with muscle and stuff and take that kind of serious. So I was kind of playing around with food for a long time because then I had to reintroduce carbs into my life in a different way, which I wasn't used to. And out of this 6+ year journey I've been on, that's kind of been like the big phases and the scariest thing. And then I will preach this forever. I've got this on lockdown for myself now, but adding carbs back into my life was the scariest and hardest thing I've had to do, without a doubt, with having to change my eating and such. But I think I got that figured out pretty good now, and I'm kind of on to this next phase for 2026 right now, which is kind of repairing and toning a little bit more. And I want to just keep growing and evolving. I guess it's turned into a lifelong passion and love, and it excites me. It's something I wake up and look forward to doing every day now. That's kind of the condensed version without having to just go on a spiel for forever. But it's been multiple kind of legs to this journey, and I just keep finding that next thing to keep me excited and invigorated.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And here's why I kind of set up the show the way that I did, and why Warriors Unleashed even exists in the first place, is everybody that you guys have heard from Pam, Angela, Angie, we've got Jennifer, and we've got Maria and Scotty. Now, everybody has a story that is powerful enough to convince anybody to at least get started with the program. Give the program an opportunity to win you over. Let's try this thing called DDPY, right? But one of the things I've always said is that I always wanted to see more of out there in general is, what are you doing after the fact? What are you doing with your life after the success that you had? Because for me, you see weight loss things all the time, right? How many of you have ever watched The Biggest Loser? How many of you have ever watched any of these major body transformation things? There's a reason why you don't see much of their follow-ups after the fact, because they all pack the pounds back on, right? And so one of the things I really love is when people take the success that they've had here at DDPY and then they translate that into their life. And you guys here, at least, you guys know what I've done. I've talked about it on the show. Like, one of the first things I did is I said, hey, I'm living my life, and I'm going to show people how I'm going to do it. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to jump out of an airplane, and I'm going to say, boom, here I am, right? Go do just thing after thing after thing. I don't say, no, I can't do that anymore. No, I don't want to do that anymore. It's, yeah, let's go. Let's give that a try. New things constantly all the time. Showing people how you can live your life to the fullest. Without DDPY, guys, there is no book. Without DDPY, and I'll throw out there, without DDPY, the support of my family, and these amazing people and more that you see in front of you here, there is no Catching Stars album. There is no Positively Pat Sims and the shows that we do here. None of that exists. In fact, I might not be here today without this program, without my incredible family and these amazing warriors on this program here. Each one of them inspires me and pushes me every single day. Even some of the guys we got in the chat, Doc, Kimberly, Miracle, Brad, Chris Hall, all these guys that continue to crop up and come into the program inspire me. And I love hearing stories of what happened after the fact. Maria, I want you to pop back up here real quick. Say hello and pop yourself back into the picture here. Let's get Maria back up.
I'm really totally multitasking. Again, I'm making this review for some third graders who have a big reading test this week, and I basically just don't want to be on camera
Well, that's why we'll get you. You had mentioned,
I'm totally listening, I promise.
You had mentioned you were multitasking, which reminds me of my son, because Seth will co-host with me during a show, and he'll literally be working on a Lego project on the computer at the same time when I think he's doing research. I think he's getting information. He's just working on whatever he wants to do. But Maria, life after success. One of the things you told me very early on when we were doing, remember before the radio show, I attempted a health and fitness podcast thing. And you had mentioned on there that the whole purpose of this was to have a family, to have kids. And we'd already mentioned you had your twins, and I'm so honored that you named one of them after me. That's, Patrick Aaron Sims, and so she named obviously that's where you got Aaron from. But
yes, it wasn't from AA Ron.
But I want you to talk a little bit more about that. Just how incredible is it when the reason why you're doing what you're doing becomes this incredible reality? Like, because I mean, you can put what happened with you, I put that above anything I've accomplished since my journey, because all of my stuff is just like leading to things and think, but what you did is so deep and so personal and so emotional. Like, if that were me, like, that would be the greatest thing ever. So talk to me a little bit more about that.
Alice and Aaron are just, again, they're
Adorable.
the best things that have ever happened to me. They are just such amazing humans. And I was looking at them the other day. We have this bedtime routine where they brush their teeth, and then they're 3.5 now, by the way, just for context.
No.
That, you know, if you're like, and I was helping him off the potty, like, he's 3.5. Okay. So
they're still like 6 months in my head.
I know.
That's
right?
insane.
It's crazy. They don't talk like 6-month-olds though. Aaron asked me the other day, he said something about his esophagus, and I was like, yeah, totally.
The fact he's asking you questions is crazy.
That's all he does. That's all he does is ask me questions. And Alice loves yelling at the Alexa. She's very in control, very power hungry. She was telling Alexa that is unacceptable. It was not playing the song. They wanted it to play the Excavator song, and it just wasn't doing it right. So it's not acceptable, Alexa. And just I don't know where she got that from. Anyway, I was just looking at them the other day after they were brushing their teeth, and then we watch a video, like a 3-minute video, and I'm just sitting there looking at them like, you guys exist. Like, that wouldn't have happened ever. And the chances of that happening, of these two perfect humans being in existence at all, right. It is really just a spectacular thing to see. And I see kids all the freaking time. You know, I'm a teacher, so I see 4th graders all the time, and I'm working with 3rd graders and 5th graders, and, you know, then there's a whole separate building of smaller children. And I think that they're all fantastic, but just looking at my two, who would not exist had it not been for the motivation, the determination, the access, the all of the resources that I had to put into all that, the time spent doing it. They're just the culmination of that. And it's inspiring. They're amazing. And not to say that, you know, as a teacher, I think they're real smart, but even if they weren't, like, they're amazing humans.
Right.
They are. And I love seeing them grow, and I love seeing them ask questions, and I love seeing them figure out things. Today I got No Nap Alice, who's a completely different person than actual Alice, and I love her just as much. She says some real sassy things, but they're very clever. And even today we were just making some blueberry muffins that we packed with some Greek yogurt, and the food choices that they make is having them listen to their own body, like seeing how all of this is forms, and like, where did it go wrong with me, like, in terms of my relationship with food, is something that I think through a lot. But it's been a wonderful journey that I think about often, and I'm very grateful for, and I continue to think about how amazing all of it is.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. You know, I can't imagine going through the journey that I've been on, like I said, without my family, my wife, my 2 boys. I always joke around, like Jennifer was talking about her 2 boys. These are mine. I had Funkos made of my 2 boys, right? But in real life, they're gorillas. They're one of them is much bigger than me. The other one is about my size now. Now, the one who's still my size, I can still take him down. I can still overpower my, which it doesn't say much because he's only 14. But hey, the dad can still go. All right, let's get back to the top of the list here. I want to want to get everybody in here on this life after success stuff, because everybody here is doing tremendous things with life after their initial DDPY success. So Pam Riley Rebuild, give us a little hello, get you back on the screen here.
Oh my word. Yeah, life after.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, Pat. Holy crap. So, like I said, if you heard me in the earlier part, I was only ready to end life. I just had no reason to live, right? And so I joined DDPY January 20th, 2022. Exactly 10 months to that day, exactly. I got a text that said, we'd like to do an interview for the Positively Unstoppable Champs interview. I was a part of that in 2022.
Right.
We'd like to do an interview. Are you available this afternoon? And the crazy thing is, I said to my husband, they want more information than whatever I mailed in. And he said, really? And I said, I don't even know what to tell these people. Was there anything I hadn't said yet? And I will say this because I'm assuming this is adult television.
Slightly.
My husband. Yeah, well, my husband said, and like I said, we've been married 50 years, right? My husband said, yeah, tell him the sex is really good now. And I'm like, okay. And I couldn't get that out of my mind. How many of you know if they say, don't think about the pink elephant, right? So I'm in this thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all I can think of is what my husband said. So I finally said it, and guess what? On that very call, Diamond Dallas Page was on, and he came towards the camera, and it was predetermined. It wasn't a real interview, I guess, because it was predetermined. He says, Pam, how would you like to be a champ? And I honestly, you guys, I'd never thought about it. Contrary to the rest of you, I've never had a tattoo, no body piercing. At 71, I kid you not, I've never colored my hair once. At 70, so I felt like I wasn't cool enough to be. I was just doing the program, but I didn't think I was cool enough to be in the champ world. And so I thought it was an interview question. And so I'm trying to think, well, how would I feel about being a champ? And he goes, no, Pam, you are. And I'm like, what? And then I did the ugly cry. You know, the one where, like, it's like everything. Because I'm like, what?
That's what we do,
went
Pam.
from death. I know. You know me, Pat. So I went from death to full out life, mobility, which the weight was great. 80 pounds gone, 77 inches was great. But the truth is, you guys, I only got started because I wanted to walk again.
Right.
So I had all that and so much more. So then I go to, as a champ, they bring us all in, right, to Atlanta, which of course I hadn't really met, people in DDPY really. So I'm at there, and they begin to tell us champs, there were 11 of us that year for 2022, and they begin to say, we have a new program we're about to launch. It's called Fast Track Coaching, and we think some of you might want to consider it. We're going to launch it really soon. I started crying in the lobby of the Performance Center because I had been life coaching you guys for 43 years before I went down with every part of my life, right? I'd been coaching men and women, all ages, and I'm hearing this, and now I know, Pat, seriously, you and I have crying issues. So I'm with 10 other champs that I don't even know, first time I met, and they're watching, that ugly one, that ugly cry. But I kid you not, so I said, hey, I am in all the way. And I was the first one that actually got certified. I got certified so quick, I grabbed 12 strangers across the United States, never heard of DDPY, launched all 12 of them on the same day. And it was powerful. And I have been coaching this entire time, 4 different time zones, the entire time, men, women, all ages. I tell you what, to think, and like today I was on a thing for Diamond Dallas Page because it's his 70th birthday on Sunday. So I got to talk to him today and wish him happy birthday. But I said, there's nothing about my life that could be more powerful right now than to know that I just turned 71. I got a 25-year goal going forward of all the lives I want to touch, change. Everything I knew from the past, I brought in, but I've also been a student. the Transformation University, I'm in most every class. And if I can't be, I go ahead and watch the recording because I want to keep sharpening my skills. I want to help quiet the noise for people. What I find, Pat, is most people, they're collectors of data. They hear everybody, oh, I'll do that. Oh, no, I'll do that. It's an idea of the week, right? So my whole goal as a coach is to quiet it down. What really do you want to see change in your life? What really is happening in your household? Who lives in your household? And how is that working, right? And all of the things that go deep enough that I can actually pull them out with what I call the turtle in their own race. I always hold up, if they go off kilter, I always hold up my little prop and say, no. I'm not trying to give you Pam's program here. We're taking DDPY and finding your own race in there. And wow, to think, to say I'm excited at 71 is just a total understatement. I feel so blessed to be able to help so many people and get to know so many. Probably one of the funnest ones that I have. I mean, there's a gazillion, so if any of them are watching, I don't want to hurt their feelings. But Dennis Ditweiler, who is 81 now, something like that, he had 2 strokes and was in a wheelchair. And when he came to me, I'm telling you what, the journey, I had him record a video so I could see where he was at. He was all but falling every direction during the whole thing. And I thought, oh my gosh, I could see the warrior in that man. And I thought to myself, what an honor it is to join in with a guy who's going to fight that hard just to someday be able to walk again. Right? Yeah. And the year after me, so I also had a chance to coach Valiant Val, who became the Positively Unstoppable last grand champ that exists because the program ended that year. And she arrived, maybe a description is lower than a snake's belly. There was just so many things not working in her life. But I'm telling you what, it was such an honor to see someone arrive that knew I'm as low as I can be right now, Pam. So just show me how to find my way up.
Right.
And she's making an impact across, both of them are making giant impacts across DDPY world.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yep.
And probably the last thing that's really an honor to me is, like I said in the beginning, is getting to lead up that 55 plus private Facebook group that Dallas and Steve have. We're over 3,200 of us now. It is so inspiring in there. And yes, if anybody's listening, you can go ahead and message me and say, yeah, but I feel like I'm 55. You know, I hear all these excuses and I always have to answer back, thank you very much, but I didn't make the rules. There's 8 or 10 rules that Steve and Dallas put for this Facebook group, one being they had to be 55 years old. So, you know, I get it. Lots of people feel like they're 55 before they are, but I didn't make the rules, so I'm not the bad guy in this thing. But it's powerful. It's a powerful group. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And I want to say the big thank you in the chat here. We got a lot of great chats going on here, but my Maddie Mr. Marijuana, which I love that name, by the way, from Australia, says he's a fanhausen of the Pathausen. I like that. I got a kick out of that one. That cracked me up. All right, let's keep moving. We're going back through here. So Angela Dolina, let's get her back on here. And Angela, as we said earlier in the program, the author of the best-selling book, Out of the Darkness, A Spiritual Awakening Journey. I got this today, and I am so excited. Look, it's got a front and a back. See that? It's amazing. So, Angela, let's get you back on. Just say hello so we can get you back up on the screen here.
Hello.
There she is right there. And, Angela, you've been doing a lot of great stuff. You know, you're really kind of the only reason I check in on TikTok. I don't really I don't really get into TikTok. I use it because I upload shorts from my shows to it. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not a TikTok guy. Sorry. Maybe it's the 45-year-old in me. But I don't honestly, the funny part is like I've never been a huge social media guy. Like when I became a champ in 2021, like everybody from Maria will tell you, I just like appeared one day. Like I was just like, all of a sudden, here's this guy that had lost like 100 and some pounds when I finally started posting. and they were like, where'd this guy come from? Right? And it was like at the time, everybody knew, like there was Brian Tan. Everybody knew him. Everyone knew Stephanie Kelly. Everybody knew Jeremy Landry. It was like, I think everyone had decided those were the 3 champs right there. And then here I come and throwing the monkey wrench in. But
so wait, you weren't posting on the Facebook group?
Not really.
Before they. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
No, it was real sneaky.
Yeah.
It flies right in.
That was
real sneaky. I had no idea. I was like, maybe I have seen him before. I don't know. No, I hadn't. And I was like, okay, I'm not crazy then, because I had no idea who he was.
Yeah, and sorry, but I do remember, like, real quick. But then we'll let Angela to talk about her stuff. But real quick, I love this story because Nadia has told it to me before, where she's like, yeah, you just came up out of nowhere, and we were like, ah, crap, because I think they really already had in mind what they were going to do, and they were like, well, we got to give him an interview. So I do my interview, and they're all thinking like, okay, maybe he doesn't have a good story to tell. So I tell my story, and they're like, crap. Well, maybe he didn't do his documentation. If he doesn't have his documentation, he can't prove he did what he did, blah, blah, blah. And here I come, Captain Documentation. I have everything. I had every picture from every week. I had spreadsheets. I had everything. And they were like, ah! Like, they're like, well, I guess we got to change up what we were going to do. Like, I literally came in. I was the dark horse, and just nobody saw me coming.
I learned the term metadata because of you. They had to go into the photos,
yes,
and make sure that they weren't doctored.
Right.
They had to go in and see the metadata of the photo to make sure that he didn't cheat. Like, the dates that he said that they were taken, they were actually taken, and the locations and everything.
Yep.
Because they didn't believe him.
Oh my gosh.
Especially, like, 1, with how much he lost, and 2, like, who are you?
Right.
And so I learned that term, metadata, because of that experience, and I've gotten real good at it now. But I was very impressed with that. That was crazy.
What's really funny too is I could also show when I weighed myself, because I didn't weigh myself just on a scale like everybody else. I weighed myself, and it's kind of funny that I did, with my Wii Fit. And so,
oh my God.
So I was able to take a picture of every weigh-in and the date that I so you could literally watch the line just go boop 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 boop.
Wow.
Yeah. Dallas himself was just like, dude, if you hadn't done all that, there's no way. Because I would never have believed you. But yes, this is my show, but no, let's take it back to my very special DDPY Warriors, my guest, Angela. Let's get into what you've been doing with life after your initial success. Because like I said, where I really started following you is when you started doing that bodybuilding shows and stuff. Now you don't look like Arnold or nothing, but it was a natural, it was like a transformation type style did you treat it like a competition, or did you just kind of see it as just an opportunity to do something really cool for you and kind of like one of those check that bucket list item off there?
Check it off. I wasn't even expecting this. It just kind of like fell in my lap. But I knew Jason was in my county and saw that he was doing classes. And I was a couple months into the Positively Unstoppable Challenge in 2024. And so I just showed up one day in March to one of his classes. And knowing me and my background of not wanting to be around people and doing something new, like, it was like a big deal for me to come to like an in-person class. And I pull into the parking lot, and he's like walking on the sidewalk, and I'm like, hey, and he recognized who I was. And so I started taking his classes, and in June, he was telling everybody in the yoga class, like, you guys should come out to the bodybuilding competition that me and Stephanie are going to be in. And I've never been to one before. It was a smaller one at a local bar, and it was so cool just to see. I mean, I was like tearing up watching, like they had like a transformation category, and just to see like the before pictures on the posters and to see them walk on stage and do their posing, it was unreal. And so we're taking pictures at the end, because we had a couple people from, who do we have? We had Mel Savitt and Kim. What's Kim's last name?
I know too many Kim. My wife's name is Kim, so I don't know if I can help you.
Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on her name? Anyway, they came from New York and Massachusetts, drove like 4 a.m. that day to come to the competition to support Jason and Stephanie. I'd never met them before. So we're taking pictures, all of us, like as a DDPY group at the end. And Jason turns to me and he's like, "You should do this." And I just like look at him, I'm like, I didn't know what to say. And he's like, "What's stopping you?" I was like, "Me." And he starts laughing. And he's like, "Best answer yet." And so like that day I started talking to the trainer at Atlas and started training like, I don't know, a week or two later. I mean, it was never something that was on my list to do, but I'm like, it fell in my lap. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to do this. And especially with my anxiety and panic attacks, this is something that I'm supposed to do. And it's something that I need to prove to myself that I can do this. I wasn't worried about it like I would have been in the past, like this circle over and over again, like what if this happens, what if I trip on stage, because you're in heels and it's really hard to walk in these heels because they're form-fitting, and if you you step one way wrong like you're going down. But I mean, everything went super smooth. It was like a dream. Like that whole day, I wasn't nervous. We were behind like stage, or it wasn't stage, like I had like blockers up, so we'd be talking to each other on the side, and we were like, "Good job." And a lot of these people never competed before, so it was just an amazing experience. And going back to what you said about finding me on TikTok, I deleted my Facebook. That was like the only social media I was really on, maybe a little bit Instagram, back in 2021. And so I wasn't on social media for a couple years, and my daughter was on TikTok, and I thought it was so dumb. And I and I just started like going on it, and I actually liked the editing and feature compared to the other apps, and the music, and I don't know. It's something about TikTok. It's just easier to work with. And I was just getting this push that, okay, you need to start talking about your story because other people may need guidance. So I started talking about my story, my fitness, my spiritual journey back in 2022. And I've been speaking ever since and writing a second book. And it's just been a whirlwind, like, of how much has changed since 2020.
Right.
It's just...
And it's all, that it's one of the best things is when I hear people talking about things that they've done that they never thought they would do, or that they wanted to do when they were younger, but then they got older and they fell into the trap of, well, you're too old to go chasing after that dream, or you're too old to do this. It was not more than about 3 years ago or so, maybe 3.5, something like that, where I actually went in for auditions for acting and so forth, because DDPY gave me that confidence back. And when I was young, if I'd have gone in and they just said no for whatever reason, it probably would have crushed me. I've been, oh, I'm terrible. But I remember walking in, and every time I did, they would tell me, like, you're really good. We really like you. Followed up with, but, and I'm not kidding you, here are the buts that I got. But, number one, you're too old. And I was like, okay, don't care. Number two, I had a food addiction, and I beat that, but that scared them off. I'm like, wait a minute. The acting industry is full of drug addicts, and you have a problem with a food addiction? Well, because, you know, if you fall off the wagon, you gain weight. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, that's stupid. So I'm able to laugh a lot of this off. And the last one that was the kicker, where I was like, you know what? I'm going to make my own success. I'm not going to lean on anybody to help me. I'm going to make it myself. I'm not kidding anybody on this. I was told my family was a problem. I have a wife and 2 kids, which means that I'm probably going to be homesick. I'm not going to want to be away from my family that much or anything, which is true. I'll give them that. But if it means I can financially support my family, I'll do what I need to do. But yeah, my family was a detriment. They didn't, because I would want to be with them more than I would want to work. And so I was just like, all right, well, then here I go. And it was shortly after that I hooked up with Ken and Wendy, which you guys know, Ken Doors, Wendy, Wushu Wendy, the Wushu Wendy. And when they started WANT, my show kicked off. WANT, Positively Pat Sims was born. And I just went, you know what? This is it. This is how I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to go after every dream I ever dreamed of when I was younger. I'm going to make my own albums. I'm going to write my own books. I'm going to do my own shows. And it's been a roller coaster ride ever since. And let's move on. So I'm going to ask Angie to unmute and say hello so that we can get her back up on the screen.
Hey.
What happened? Why didn't it switch?
Hello.
There she is. All right. And Angie. So this is so cool, guys. If you don't know what Angie's been doing since you probably last saw her on the Diamond Dozen or Stand Up 2.0, like me, you were probably like, what happens to all these people that we're working out with on these apps? Because there's a lot of people we're always asking, like, hey, what happened to so-and-so? Where's this person? Where's this person? What's going on with this person? Well, we know. Yeah, we know with Angie. And it's I was blown away. It is absolutely awesome. And what's really funny is my wife's favorite movie is The Little Mermaid. And so when I saw Angie and what Angie was doing, I was like, yes, here we go. And so Angie, I'm not gonna go into it. I want you to talk about what you do and how you got into it and what it means to you to do it. Because it's not just a job. It's not just something you do. This is something you're passionate about.
So I've been doing DDP and been around DDP yoga for a long time.
Right.
So one of the big things when I started working with Dallas was mental health. He wanted to make sure that I had a good foundation for my mental health. And that was something that I started to run into with my son. I have one child, and he was my why when I got started. Mm-hmm. And as a teenager, he was struggling, and we had a suicide attempt that had came up, and continued to work with him. I decided on my own that I wanted to live life as large as I could and show him how much life there was to live. So I started doing all these banana things that like just crazy to show him it can be fun. It can be adventurous. You can do what you want. And unfortunately, 2 weeks before he turned 20, he did commit suicide. So that was 4 years ago, 2022. Mm-hmm. And since then, I'd gone through a divorce, moved around a lot, continued to try and find things to make me want to live, because at that point I lost my why,
right?
My why for everything. And one of the things that came back to me always was like, well, first of all, when I found out about my son passing away, my first call was to Dallas,
right? Because
he was my mentor and that's who always grounded me. So I had to go back to basics, and he reminded me to breathe. So navigating through that, I went back to a lot of the foundational stuff that I learned from Dallas to help keep me grounded and keep me centered and keep me moving one foot in front of the other. And really held on to the education piece of it that he taught me. I knew that I needed to find the things that I really loved and enjoyed. And the thing that I missed was my son being little. So I found out, and when my son was little, I worked at a zoo. So that was another thing. He always knew me working with animals, being around animals, helping kids learn about animals and giving them animal experiences. And fortunately, about 1.5 miles from my house, they had an aquarium open up. And I got to thinking about possibly working there, but I was really also torn seeing all these kids enjoy being with their parents.
Right.
I really didn't want to celebrate that. But I know that Dallas was like, pay it forward, do good things for people, good things will happen for you. And the more I was around the aquarium and the more time I spent there helping the kiddos learn about animals and having them touch the animals and giving them the smiles, I realized I was smiling with them. I couldn't help it. I was loving it. And my management saw something with me. I liked coming to work dressed up. I liked coming to work, putting a smile on everybody's face, and was just very chipper for them. They're like, would you like to try putting on the mermaid tail and read a story to the kids? And I was like, it terrified me because, well, you're sitting in a mermaid tail, so it's a mermaid top, and very, it just kind of, you feel stripped down.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting there in a mermaid tail and a bra. And the kids, they put you on the spot. You never know what kind of questions they're going to ask. They're going to grab your tops. They're going to touch your face. They're going to touch your crowns. They're going to tell you you're not real. You're always kind of on point and having to kind of ad lib and roll with whatever was going on. Well, then they asked me if I'd like to learn how to swim as a mermaid. I didn't know how to swim, and I didn't tell them.
Ooh.
And the tank that they put you in has sharks in it. There's 4 black-tip sharks in there, bamboo sharks, fish. It's also cold, so about 68 to 70 degrees. And it's salt water. And we don't use anything to cover our eyes.
Right.
So it can't see. So with all of those things involved and swimming as a mermaid, they had me show up one night. I got down on the platform and I got in the water and learned how to swim. And eventually got to where I was like so hooked on it. I started buying mermaid tails and all the crowns and getting into how to do the makeup, and then started wanting to get more training. So I went to Florida, swam in the ocean as a mermaid, was diving 30 feet down as a free diver and swimming with stingrays and shipwrecks. And I couldn't believe what I was doing. And I have now progressed to a PADI mermaid instructor. So people that are ages 6 and up can take different levels of classes with me. And my DDP yoga training came in very handy because I'm a DDP yoga instructor also. And when I went through certification, they're like, you just whizzed through it. She's like, you seem like somebody that's been doing this for years. And I started when I was 49. So at 50 years old right now, I am a mermaid performer in a shark tank. And it gives me the most joy in the world and fills that little piece of my heart that my son's missing in. But I feel closest to my son's spirit when I'm in the water.
Right.
So it just takes me, I feel like he's with me the minute I enter the tank. I feel like I've got his hand on my shoulder when I'm with the kids. And I know how proud he must be of me right now.
Oh, it's incredible. I love that. That's such a great story. Like, can you imagine though, like guys like, oh, what do you do? I teach DDPY. I teach DDPY. What do you do? I teach people how to be a mermaid.
Yeah.
Like, I could start so many more conversations if that was my answer. But
I can go to people's backyards now and be a swimmer in their backyard pool as a mermaid and hang out with the kids. And the parents don't have to worry about the kids, having problems swimming because I'm in the water to save them and teach them a little bit of swimming and be a safety diver. And I make all sorts of fun stories up for them. I'm like, I just swam here from the ocean. I came in from Florida just to see you. And, oh yeah, Ariel's my best friend.
So fun fact, you'll never get to teach me any of this because I am deathly afraid of the ocean.
That's okay.
That is a fear. Yeah, I'm a Southern California guy. I can walk to the beach if I wanted to.
That's horrible.
And yeah, can't do it.
Uh,
even put me on a cruise ship.
Done. So I've been scuba diving in the Bahamas now, and my last trip in January, I went down and went through shipwrecks, but I was surrounded by sharks the whole time, like close enough I could have touched them.
Nope. Mm-mm. I can't even go into the the aquariums where you walk in and you're surrounded by the water and you're safe. You're perfectly safe. I can't do that. I can't.
I'll actually be at Georgia Aquarium on Sunday swimming in their whale shark tank.
Oh my God.
Scuba diving it.
That is awesome. That's awesome, but I will not will not be participating in those activities. Spiders in the ocean. Those are my two fears. And you always try to get people to overcome your fears. Nope. No. And somebody told me one time, I'll never forget this. Never. They were like, you know what? You should go to Hawaii. I'm like, why? Isn't that mostly water? And he's like, yes, but you can see everything around you. I said, that's not going to help me because now I'm just going to be worried about what I'm going to see instead of what I'm not seeing. I'm just, like, my wife will tell you, we went on a cruise and I have to stay in the middle of the ship for a long time. And then I have to work my way slowly to the edge of the boat to where I'm comfortable realizing I'm not going over, right? And then just get out of my head the idea of anything having to do with me. I can't sit through that speech they give you at the beginning of where the lifeboats are, where your you have to wear the freaking life preserver before the ship. I'm like, why? Why are you freaking me out like this?
So I was on a cruise in January, and it was a rock cruise, so a bunch of rock bands on it.
Right, I saw that.
I had a tail with me. I was sitting on the beach as a mermaid. I did a belly flop contest on the back of the ship as a mermaid, hanging out with rock bands, and now they know me as the mermaid from Iowa.
That's so cool. I can do pools, by the way. I'm good with pools.
So I had Netflix cameras in my face the whole time too.
Oh, that's so awesome. That is so cool. All right, we got to keep moving because I'm loving every minute of this. This is already I think it's already our longest Warriors Unleashed show we've ever done, but it's so worth it. I am loving every second. Jennifer, let's get you back on here, and then we're gonna close out. If whoever is participating, if you have your two lies, one truth, if you have those ready to go. I would love to get you guys in and playing. And then, of course, Angela and Angie were like, wait a minute, isn't it two truths and a lie? And so I'm like, well, this is my version. I'm trying to hide the fact that I probably screwed up. But I'm like, no, this is the Positively Pat Sims version. So in honor of that, I went ahead and made one of my two where you have to find the lie. just for those two bringing that up. But Jennifer, go ahead and say hello again so we can get you back up on that screen.
Hey guys.
There she is, Jennifer, right there. Jennifer, I'm sorry, but every time you've popped up, I feel like I'm looking at a CCTV camera behind you. What are we watching behind you on television?
It's the live feed from Artemis 2 and Capcom.
Oh, so it technically kind of is we are looking at like a CCTV. I'm like, who are we spying on right now?
so I mean, yeah, that's them. That's them up in space.
Yeah, I know. Well, now it makes sense. But before, I saw some guy walking through with a backpack, and I'm like, what is going on there? I'm trying to listen and also figure out what's on television behind you.
Yeah, it's like a smart board thing. I don't know how to turn it off from where I'm sitting.
Hey, it's an interesting background.
It's science, so it's good for you.
It's informative. We're an educational show here on Warriors Unleashed.
Plus, I have to follow Mermaid now, so how do you do that?
Yeah,
let's just talk about space.
I put you in the main event spot after Rock versus Hogan. So
right, and this is not one of her lies. That's the thing.
I know. Right. This is the
So
truth.
what?
But Jennifer, I mean, like, this is a part of the journey that I think we have all had to go through, and I think that is very important. Though, we're talking about, I got to follow Angie, right? You know, um, we all tend to compare ourselves in our journeys and everything else to other people, and it's one of the hardest things to break. I do it. That was probably my biggest problem when I started going. Like, I would see guys, like I would see Jason doing his thing, and I would see other people, and I'm like, man, like, I want to do that. And I've got certain limitations. Everybody knows I have a fake shoulder, so I have limitations on what I can do, and it's like, oh man. And then you realize, you have to stop and think about the things you've actually done and you've achieved, right? And just go, you know what? I'm good. I'm proud of me. I'm happy with me. And I think you, Jennifer, are amazing and awesome, and you should be proud of you too. And you should not compare yourself to anyone, because there is nobody like Jennifer.
It's me versus me every day.
That's right.
That's it.
Amen.
Me versus me.
Yes, it is. But tell us a little bit more about your life after your initial success. Like you said, you weren't really in this, like a lot of people here were, I would say probably 3/4 of us were here mainly, we were trying to lose weight, get healthy and stuff like that. Like Angela wasn't really, Angela, you dropped weight for sure. It wasn't like a huge transformation like maybe Scotty or Angie, but incredible. Great work. But you guys were really working towards some different things, some other things as well. So Jennifer, talk to me about your version of your success and then what you've done with that since.
Mm-hmm. So I think somebody said it. I don't remember who said it, but somebody said when you just start, instead of thinking about losing weight, you start thinking about like how you're feeling every day.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so for women especially, it's so aesthetic, right? Well, I shouldn't say that. We maybe just are more vocal about it, right? We're just more willing to talk about that. It's how we look is important.
We're
And
taught
so
to kind of
I
keep
do
stuff in.
feel like the moment that this became about how I feel instead of how I look, that's when things kind of really clicked for me. And so the I'm not at the end of my journey. It's not over, right?
Never.
But the post initiation phase, like Scotty, if I had Maria's allergies, hearing you, it could have been me, right? Just like this constant mindset shift of what's next, and I think what I have learned to become is a lifelong student of health.
Yep.
That's what's really happened here. So it began about maybe just being able to do a push-up, right? And then it began about being able to do a pull-up. And then it began about, well, let's get really disciplined here. Like I've gotten really disciplined about DDPY. Now let me add in some power cuffs. Now let me figure out ways that I can use one thing to complement another. Now let me get really dialed into my food. Now I'm right where you are, Scott. You're like, geez, I gotta put carbs back in. What? Like, I've avoided these like the plague for a number of years. And now I gotta work them back in. But it's really always just been about learning what is next available to me to get to the next level of where I want to be. So it began with becoming certified as a level 1 instructor, and then quickly turned into being certified as a level 2 instructor. At the time, Hayden had said that that was the fastest from 1 to 2 that he had ever certified someone, because I was just right in it. Like I sunk my teeth into it and I was right in it. Then fast track coaching. And that took me a little bit longer. And now I'm working on rebuild. But in the meantime, I've gotten some nutrition certifications. I've got blood flow restriction training certification.
Cool.
Like I'm always just trying to find the next level.
Right.
And it's not well, I've done this, I have to try the next greatest trend. It's more like, can I learn all the things so that I can pick out the things that have the most value and build a program, because it can take more than one thing. Yeah. Right. And Pam, you said it, you don't want to overcomplicate things early on, right? In the beginning, just get started. Like, just get started. Find a little guidance if you need it, right? Someone to be your guardrails, or like your bumpers at the bowling alley, right? Yep. So you don't gutter. But get started, but then always be a lifelong learner, and always like kind of just humble and hungry for the next thing that I can achieve. Yep. It really is me versus me. Like, we were half joking in the beginning, but, but that's really where I'm at.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's just, I just want to get to the next level. And the thing that I'm most proud of is that one of my boys, he's a student athlete, and, he comes to me one day and he goes, "What do I have to do to make sure I don't get fat?" And I was like, "Just stay 15. Like, that's all you have to do. You have like metabolism for days. Like, you don't have to do anything. You're an athlete, you have metabolism." But, he's watching and he's learning and he's going, "Should I eat this or this?" Right. Or he's looking at ingredients, or he's looking at protein content of stuff. And something I'm proud of is that I like to think that I've modeled some of this for him. Right. And I like to think that I've maybe set him up for a lifetime of, he'll have some bad habits because he's a kid, and even when we're not kids, we have some bad habits, right? But I like to think I've set him up for a lifetime of maybe paying attention to his choices, at least. So if that's the legacy of my journey, and we do that with fast track coaching too, not just within our own home, but we want to create a legacy of helping other people maybe realize some of the things that we've realized and empower them to make the good choices. So this becomes a life for them, right? Not just being alive, but really living a life. So that's sort of what I'm mentally trained on all the time.
Yep.
And awesome. I do have a full-time, what I call real job, right? Yeah. I do have a real job, and I enjoy that very much. But my ultimate goal is to buy a gym. Ooh. And add DDPY into that gym, because there isn't any other instructor in my area. I teach 4 classes a week now, but to have a brick and mortar where I can offer that on a more regular basis and make that my real job.
That's awesome.
So I'm looking towards that.
I've thought I like, that's been one of the, I remember thinking about that a long time ago, where I was like, oh man, I'd love to have my own gym. And then it's like, I'd rather just have it at my house.
Yeah.
I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to have it here, because now I'm so go that it's like I don't want to waste time driving to a gym. I just want to do my workout here and then get right back to whatever it is I'm working on.
Yeah.
Like, that's how
I'm 53, right? So
no,
I'm not ready
you
to
are
leave
not.
my real gig. I'm not ready to leave my real gig. But God, I hope my boss isn't watching. I'm not ready to leave my real gig. But I definitely want to have a place where people can come. And I also know, and Angie, you're an instructor, right? So you know how hard sometimes it is to find a place to do that.
Yep.
And to offer that for people. So I would also like to make that venue available to other people who want to bring their brand or level of fitness to the community, but are having a hard time finding a place, right? So
yeah, you might be shocked. Again, Southern California. You might be thinking, like, how hard would it be there to find a place to teach DDPY? That's my biggest problem.
Yeah. When I first certified, we have a ton in South Florida too. Ton of little, like, CrossFit gyms, tons of yoga studios, tons of just small independently owned gyms. And I legit like a salesman with a briefcase. Like, when I first was certifying and knew I had to get teaching hours in, I found like 3 main streets, and I just parked the car on one end and walked the block and walked into every gym to find, hey, could I teach a class here once or twice a week? Like, even though I wasn't making money, I was willing to pay money for the time I used the gym. Right. Like, everybody has to invest in their business, right? And I legit canvassed the neighborhood for spots. Out of like 43 places, I found 2 that said yes. And ironically, they used to be business partners and then they split off. But they were fairly like-minded and they were the 2 people that said yes. And I taught in their gyms. And I still teach in one of them today. So it's a thing, finding a place to teach. Yeah.
All right, guys. Real quick. So somebody asked me earlier, like, what? Like they see me I'm constantly drinking water, and it's not because I have to be drinking water all the time guy. Like I drink plenty of water. But for those of you that don't know, I am sitting in my dining room. This is all in our dining room in our apartment, and with a really bright hot light shining on me the entire time. And in order to make sure you guys don't hear everything that goes on outside of the apartment, it is all closed up. And so it is unbearably stuffy when it gets warmer. So I'm trying everything I can to make sure that I don't pass out in the middle of a show. When we get to summer, like you guys might, if you guys go back and look at some of the shows just maybe a couple weeks or what, if I'm wearing a shirt that shows like sweat, you will see it's just all like I'm trying to hide it like by holding my arm straight like this. It gets really, really rough. Like I am pouring. I'm trying to hide it as best I can. It's another reason I wear hats too. I'm pouring right now, but I am having too much fun. I really don't care. I'll keep my arms at my side as much as I can. But last thing too, before as Jennifer said, you talk about your kids and stuff, and a big Pirates fan, obviously. And one of my favorite quotes was when Barbosa said to Jack Sparrow, like, passing on, that's for certain, right? When it comes to the future, it's what we do matters, because what we do, our kids are going to pick up on that. And I unfortunately spent way too long in their lives teaching them the wrong way to do things, and so now it's comforting to know that I'm giving them a better path forward. And not just health and fitness wise, but also, I don't ever want them to be where I was and have somebody try to convince them to give up on their dreams and tell them like, oh, you waited too long. Oh, you're too old. Oh, that's stupid. Why? Just get a normal job and go. No. Don't give up. Never give up on your dreams. I would rather they shoot for their dreams and shoot for the stars. No pun intended with the album cover. But, and fall short, then never go for it at all. Because it's when you never go, you never try, you never put the work in, that's where regret comes in. But when you put in the work, if you fall short for whatever reason, you can at least live knowing that you did what you needed to do to get there. That's the way I look at it. So, Scotty Boots, say hello one more time for me. Let's get you back up here, and then we're going to play our little game here.
What up?
So, Scotty, you have a visitor. Who is this? Who are we? Hello.
My daughter Ellie. Say hi, baby.
She's
we
starstruck.
Had, tornadoes last night. Yeah, she's a little starstruck. We had like a bunch of tornado warnings last night, so the kids got a little freaked, and of course the thunderstorm just like erupted out of nowhere. Wow. So she came running downstairs.
So, Scotty, I have to ask you, but there's 2 autographs behind you. Are those real?
Oh yeah.
Because you do go to Star Wars. I saw you get autographs at one of the Star Wars conventions. I'm guessing that's James Earl Jones in the Darth Vader one. And who's the one above that?
So this is it's actually James Earl Jones is the portrait.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
And then this one, the Vader one, is Dave Prowse.
Oh, is that Dave Prowse? Cool.
Yeah.
And who's above
and then
that?
The Star Wars one, I won't. Well, here, I'll give it.
Empire. All right.
Thing back.
Oh, see what I'm talking about? He puts me to shame.
That Empire poster right there is my pride and joy. Here, quick 20-second fun story about that, since tornadoes just came into the mix.
No offense, Ellie.
Her 3rd birthday. Yeah, Ellie's 3rd birthday is August
He's like,
10th.
This is my pride and joy with his daughter right here.
No, get right. Get ready for this. Here's pride and joy for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
When she turned 3, that day I was working from home because that was still kind of with lockdowns and whatnot.
Right.
This guy right at the end of my workday got obnoxious. I'm ready to we have the whole house decorated for her and stuff. We're ready to celebrate the kid, and a huge storm came through and a tornado, and it was absurd. So immediately we all go, and at first it's get the family safe. So we all get into the bathroom, we get the animals into the bathroom, and once everybody was safe, I went running back out just to grab my Empire poster to bring it in, because out of everything I have, I've got it.
In and out the bathroom.
Out of everything I have, this was the one thing I was like, if a tornado comes, I'm not losing this poster. This has been on too many journeys with me. I got too many autographs. I have Harrison Ford on that poster. I'm not losing that poster.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So,
if your house was burning down, what would you say? Empire.
There's a good chance I would try to save everything, and I would burn in the process.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny. But Scotty, one of the things, speaking of the album and stuff, one of the things you do is, Scotty, great guitar player and singer as well. And I'd like to hear a little bit more about that, and how your success with DDPY has affected you in your musical journey.
Yeah, that's been huge for me. So I've been playing music my whole life. I picked up a guitar as early as I can remember because my dad plays, and he got me my first guitar when I was 8. So music has been my life, and the only things that have entered my life that have created this trifecta for me, it's music, then my children, and then health. And I've never had anything else that's been such a part of my life the way music has, outside of being a father and then changing my health and finding this health journey for myself. So they all unbelievably just work in such a perfect tandem, because the way I kind of view life now is I live for my children, I live for my music, and health has become the cornerstone of everything to make that possible for myself now. So the whole why this started was 100% for this one right here, because this is who I was at the park with. So this is where it all started, was running around with her.
Right.
And now I've got my younger son, Kyber, who's 4.5, and I have an older daughter as well, who's 21. But it all started with her at the park. So that's been, it's been beautiful as a father to, be able to do the things and have the energy I want to have. And the passion for health that this has really turned into is just kind of evolved to where now I want to be 80, 90, 100, and keeping up with the generations as kids come up. And and as you said, you can throw down with your 14-year-old. It's I want to be able to take them all down as old as I get, and never ever be able to let up that pace. So
right.
My goal is to be able to do these things until the day I die, So I feel so blessed and very fortunate for what this has done for me as just a father. And then for music, without a doubt, it's done so much for me musically. I'm very fortunate to be in a band and been playing music with my 2 best friends. My best friend that I've known since kindergarten, who's the drummer, and my other best friend Dan, who's our guitar player. And I've been doing bass with this band for a long time, and which is kind of crazy being a guitar player. So I switched to bass for this, but we did this 3-piece thing for a very, very long time for 13 years, I think now, 14 years. But it's awesome to share that with your best friends. And now, with having health become a thing, it's really kind of slingshotted things into this whole new journey for me now, because I've always taken a lot of pride in singing and how I can sing and stuff like that. But this has absolutely kind of opened up a lot of different avenues for me as a vocalist. So I do all kinds of different things for myself now to work on the vocals and keep myself feeling fresh and on my feet. But the really fun thing, and we just announced this a few weeks ago, and this is really kind of something that's only been made possible because of this health journey for me. My favorite band in the world, and now I have the unbelievable privilege and honor to perform as my favorite frontman of all time. We've pivoted and we're doing a Metallica tribute band.
Wow.
And yeah, that would not have been made possible at all. I would not have been able to do this in the fashion, you know, be it the look, be it just the stage presence, the energy.
Yeah.
And I get to do this in such a way to serve justice, you know, and pay tribute to like my favorite band and stuff. I'm really excited about it. Like I'm unbelievably stoked to kind of like present this and have this next chapter in my life musically. So that's great as far as what I'm doing, you know, performing with my best friends and stuff. And now I've really kind of like launched off my solo career, pushing hard with my acoustic music and stuff. And I just want to be a man and a guitar, you know, like I just want to like kind of have that aura of, you know, what those greats of the past have done. And I wouldn't have had what it would have taken to do this in such a fashion. And it's not just because of the music and the things that come with it for me, but it's a lot of it is being able to keep up with things in such a way. Now I live a really, really fast life,
Yeah.
that I would not have been living otherwise. Between being a full-time dad, I work full-time, I'm doing music full-time, my health is full-time. I have such a love and passion for film and, you know, and horror and stuff. So it's like, there's not a minute that gets wasted. Like one of my favorite things that I hear is like when Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of like joked around when people are like, I need my 8 hours of sleep. And he's always preaching like you only need 6, so just sleep faster.
Yeah,
like,
sleep
that's
faster.
kind of how I roll. Like I'm just going a million miles an hour constantly. I wouldn't be able to keep up with that lifestyle and maximize my time the way that I do right now to do the things that I love and spend the time with the people I love if it weren't for everything that I've done with my health. And I feel very fortunate and grateful that the things that I've loved and had passion for, being my children and my music, are like the two things that benefit the most out of this. It's really taken something that's always been near and dear and just put an exclamation point on it to a level I didn't think I'd be able to, you know, really ever kind of realize. And now it's brought that all to fruition for me now, which has been fantastic.
Right. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right, guys, let's Pam, I have a question for you. I can't help it because if you've noticed, I've been smiling a lot during this show, and Pam very rarely ever doesn't smile. And Angie, maybe Angie can answer this too, because Angie works out, reminds me of Paige, watching Paige now, because Angie's during the workouts smiling through the whole thing. And I'm like I remember torturing myself during Stand Up 2.0, and I'm like, how are you smiling? Like, have you guys just worked your cheek muscles to where you're not sore, or are you always sore? Like, I've been smiling this whole show, and I'm suffering right now.
I am so not kidding when I say I have chased joy my entire life. I don't take it for granted. I figure every morning I wake up, no matter what's happening, right? Someone's got health things, somebody's, you know, is hurting, you know, finances, disaster at different seasons, right? So I really established that really early in my life. So even from grade school, people would say, why are you always smiling, Pam? I'm like, hey, I chase it. Right? Yeah. It's a goal.
Well, my dimples hurt right now.
So shy growing up that now that I'm comfortable in my own skin and happy with where I'm at.
Yeah.
I love smiling, and people smile back at you, and happiness is free. You should sprinkle that around.
Right. Right. And I try to at least think about smiling, because when I don't, everyone thinks that I'm mad. And like, so when I'm doing the show, it's very rare that I just sit with my resting face, because then everyone would like, and I've done it a couple of times, and people will comment that I'm really angry with whoever's talking, because this is literally my resting face.
I like, even when I'm being serious, people like, are you, what, you don't really look like you're being that serious. And I'm like, no, this is my serious face.
Yeah. My mom blessed me with my resting face.
Oh, so you got resting Sims face.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I have to like, it's like when you like, so, you know, Scotty, when you sing, you got to get your embouchure up. And one of the ways you do that is you smile, or at least imagine that you're smiling. So I have to do that like a lot. Otherwise everyone thinks I'm mad. So positively Pat Sims has a angry resting face. All right. I'm looking over here at the Zoom thing. How many here do not have anything to offer for the 2 lies, 1 truth game? Did anybody not prep anything? It looks like everybody, because you can raise your hand if you did not. So, all right, nobody's raising their hand. That's awesome. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to start, and then each one of you is going to tell me what you think the real answer is. Mine's a gimme. It's just to get us going, the first one here. If you were paying attention to the opening video, or you know me at all, you know the answer to this question. All right, you ready? So, which one is the truth? Which one is the lie? Or one of them's the truth, two of them are lies. So which one's the truth? Number one, I won a gaming room set and $1,500 on The Price is Right. Number two, I won a new car and $2,000 on Let's Make a Deal. Or number three, I got the first question wrong when I appeared on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So, Angela, you're on the screen. So,
Two.
you say two. All right, Angie, you're
Absolutely. Absolutely. Two.
two. Everyone seems to be saying two.
Two. Hello,
I told you.
Mr. Two.
I told you it
Yeah,
was a gimme.
there.
It's a gimme. That's how I have my truck. I won a POS car, and I used it to get my truck, and the $2,000. So I'm very, very happy, and it'll be completely 100% mine in 1 year. I've had that truck for 4 years now. That's crazy. This is insane. As I'm getting older, how time is just. But I swear to you, I always feel like I'm the oldest one here. Like even Pam, I don't care. I always feel like I'm the oldest. None of you should be younger than me. You all look younger than me to me. Pam's got all this natural dark hair. I got gray in my goatee.
Now, Pam's talking about how she's never colored her hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I did it like 3 times last month.
Hey, if gray hair is maturity, I guess I don't have any. What can I say? I don't know.
I've never colored mine, but it's all. I honestly, I would say it's because my wife likes my gray hair. I think if my wife didn't, I'm not saying I'm insecure about it, but I just like. I like my facial hair still has red in it, and I like my red facial hair, and it's just like little streaks in the hair up here. So, but my wife likes it, so it's like, all right, it stays. I will age gracefully then. So, all right, let's go again alphabetically here. Angela, what do you got for us? Give us yours.
All right. In school, I was in art club. Number 2, I was in rocket club. Number 3, I was in the jazz band.
I was in the jazz band. I played saxophone.
There you go.
All right. Angie, what do you think? Art club. We got art club. We've got jazz band. What was the other one, Angela?
Rocket club.
Rocket club.
We're finding one truth.
One truth.
One truth.
Yes.
2.
She's going with rocket club.
No, the art club.
Oh, art club. Okay, so she's saying art club. Scotty, what do you think?
1.
Wait, I don't know. He did this.
Art club.
Oh, that's for 2. That's for 2.
Oh, so 2 is I think I screwed it up. 1 is art, 2 is rocket, 3
Right.
is jazz band. So are you still
Yep.
saying 2?
I'm going with rocket.
He's going with rocket. All right, we got 1 for art, 1 for rocket. All right, Jennifer?
2 for rocket.
Another rocket one. Wow. Look at rocket going. Pam? No cheating and looking up Angela on Google.
Would it be 2?
You're saying rocket too? Because my first thought was art. Because I know you do art.
Yeah.
Rocket club, like that seems like, though, I will say it seems like it's just crazy enough to be true. I want jazz band to be true though, because I love jazz band. I absolutely love jazz. You know what? Screw it. I'm going with 3 to be different. Angie's got 1 locked in. I've got jazz band locked in. Everybody else has got 2. Angela, which one's true? Ah! Ah! The
Didn't
Rocket
you see her
Club.
at Capcom? Didn't you see her there sitting at the desk at Capcom?
Dang
I
it.
did audition to go into jazz band. I unfortunately did not make it.
Oh, what instrument?
I was auditioning for piano, but I was in the marching band with flute for 3 years.
All right. Yeah, I did marching band. I marched in a parade. I did all that stuff. Jazz band. I was in the pit band. They called it the pit band, not orchestra, for Bye Bye Birdie. So I played saxophone for all of that. Yeah, I actually played at halftime at my own football game in high school. No joke. Played in my uniform, grabbed my saxophone, stayed on the field during halftime. Wouldn't have allowed that if we weren't already winning, and I hadn't already scored 2 touchdowns as the fullback. So I got to go back on the field, play saxophone, come back, play the next half. So good times. Thank you all so much for celebrating Pat's 5-year. Love to you all. That's my wife saying that. So thank you, my dear. All right. Let's see. Who's next? That's going to be Angie. Angie, your turn.
Okay, so 2 lies and a truth.
Yes.
I dropped a wedding cake at a venue before the wedding.
No. I don't want that to be true.
I'm tattooed by a member of Slipknot.
Okay. I like that.
And number 3, I met Dallas the first time at WrestleMania.
Seems too easy.
These are good.
I know.
That's a good selection.
Yeah. All right, Angela, what do you think? What's your
I am blown away by these choices.
I know, right? It's a lot better than mine.
I'm gonna go with number 3.
Dallas at WrestleMania. All right. Scotty, what do you got?
I'm going 2 again. That seems so wild to think of.
Right.
Off the cusp as a lie, and I want it to be true, but that sounds amazing to me.
Yeah.
I'm going with that. I'm going off the Rock Boat Cruise tattoo by a member of Slipknot.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Jennifer, what do you got?
Scotty, you are the male me. Number 2.
You're the male me.
Same thought process, same exact thing. Like, yeah.
All right, Pam.
It's a family show, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you're me, but
I'm also in Iowa.
All right, Pam, what do you got?
Yeah, good call. Good call.
Oh, it was 2?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I
yeah.
forgot to give myself a pick. So
Yeah.
So in my head, I was thinking 2. If you want to believe me.
I see them around town, and I'm friends with Corey's son, and yeah.
I like how it's just so like, yeah. So they're just, I see them around. I'm friends. Yeah.
During
Such a casual thing.
asked to be kind of a driver for one of the members while they were in town, and to thank me for it, they tattooed my ribs. So I've got a big rib done that was in the middle of like a recording studio on a couch, and then as they were leaving at the end of the summer, they did this cute little bird on my hand and ended up selling me a guitar, a Fender, that they
Nice.
had to give to my son for his graduation. So that was
Wow.
kind of fun. But I actually did own a wedding cake business. And when I met Dallas, it wasn't the first time at WrestleMania, but I've seen him there. I was there when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Nice. We're gonna have to have Angie on a lot more. Like, I feel like there are so many stories that she could tell that are gonna just blow anyone that I have away. So, all right.
I know rock stars as I do wrestlers.
All right, let's go to Jennifer. Jennifer, give me yours. We're gonna do one round of this, by the way, and then I'll close it out because we are getting a little late, especially for you East Coasters.
yeah.
So go ahead, Jennifer.
Okay. I can hold my breath underwater for over 2 minutes.
No.
I once got locked in a store overnight,
I could see you doing
and
that.
I had a caiman alligator as a pet.
Wait, you had a what?
Did I?
No, you had a what?
Gator.
Cayman alligator.
Cayman alligator.
Yeah.
All right, Pam. What do you think?
One.
Number one.
I would go with number one.
Okay. I'm trying to remember here, so I just got focused on. Okay, so one, you can hold your breath for 2 minutes. All right, Angie, what do you got? Which one do you think?
I know holding your breath for 2 minutes is pretty hard to do, but I do that also. I really want to. I want that you had the Cayman alligator. I want that to happen.
All right, we got the Cayman alligator. Scotty, which one do you think?
Yeah, these are good. That third one was very compelling, the way that it came out, too.
Just
I'm trying to read the body
nonchalant.
language.
Oh, by the way.
I'll go with 3 as well.
All right, he's going with the gator. Angela, which one you got?
3.
3, the gator. All right. Okay, well, fine. Then just to be different, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with 2. You got locked in a building. Let's just go with that one. All right, Jennifer, which one is it?
I did own a Cayman alligator as a pet.
That's cool. That's cool. How big was
Awesome. That is so cool.
He was little. He was like this big, maybe. He was a baby. It was when I lived in New York.
it? That's cool though. I mean, just to say you owned one, that's really cool.
He was pretty cute until he wasn't.
Until he wasn't, right. All right, Pam.
He never came.
Yeah. Oh, you want my 3?
Yes. Let's go with you
Okay.
now.
Just for the record, I was thinking of mine as we were doing this.
Yeah.
I didn't come prepared to class. I'm so sorry.
How dare you.
However, so when I was a teenager, I had we lived on a home in the lake, so it was kind of a formal, stuffy house. But they did allow me to have my favorite pet. That actually, often I would either have it sleep with me, or at least nearby, so I could really enjoy it. Was it 1, a snake, 2, a ferret, or 3, a pig?
Ooh. Huh. That's interesting. 2 of them. Two of them are interesting to me. All right, Angie, which one are you going with?
I'm gonna say it was a pig.
Yeah, I like the pig.
Iowa
one.
girl.
I like the pig.
Iowa girl comment.
All right,
Yeehaw.
Scotty, how about you? Where are you going? Snake, ferret, or pig?
I'm going to say Pam's got that wild energy, and I could see a snake being that off the cusp. That's just that off the cusp thing. I'm going to go with the snake.
All right, he's going with the snake. Obviously Pam's not in California because you can't own a ferret in California. Angela, your thoughts?
Pig.
Pig. She's going pig. Jennifer?
So I have had snakes and I have had ferrets and I've always wanted a pig. So I'm saying pig because I just want to live vicariously through that idea.
All right, Pam?
Oh, you guys, I'm an Iowa girl. You may not have known that, but I'm an Iowa girl, and yes, pigs are my favorite thing. And so I had guinea pig actually slept in bed with me, and I would feed it with the bottle, and
Wow.
yeah. It was a baby, no, not a guinea pig, but a regular pig that was what they call it when they're the runt.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the farmer wants to get rid of it because it won't last.
Right.
I brought it to life.
Nice.
So, yep, the Iowa thing.
Just like you bring people to life.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes full circle.
Yeah.
All right,
So
Scotty.
sweet. Thanks.
Let's get yours in here. Let's see what you got.
I got 3 very random ones.
All right.
Number 1, I've had paranormal experiences.
Oh.
Number
I
2, I've been attacked by a hawk. Number 3, I'm blind in my right eye.
Whoa. I've had paranormal experiences, so I like that one. When you work enough security, you're gonna run across some paranormal experiences. The blind in the right eye, that's crazy. What was the second one again? Oh, attacked by a hawk.
Attacked by a hawk.
I don't want that to be true because I like hawks. I don't want them to attack my boy Scotty. So I'm gonna go with the paranormal thing for me personally. I like that one. All right, Angie, what do you think? Which one you got?
I'm gonna go with lucky number 3.
All right, she's going with the blind in one eye thing. All right, Angela, how about you?
Paranormal.
Paranormal. Jennifer? I forgot to change the
Blind in the right eye.
She's going with blind. I forgot to change the little banner here. My bad. Look at that. See, I even made a nice little thing there. Now it's right. All right. So Pam, which one you got? So far we're tied 2-2.
Okay, well, I definitely think the birds are evil, so that could be true. Except for I'm gonna go with the paranormal, the number one for me.
Paranormal is the popular pick. So Scotty, what do you got?
It's number one, the paranormal.
Thank you and good night.
Yeah, I
bumped into myself.
Maybe some stories, but yeah, my mom, she bought this house when I was around like 15, and never believed or non-believed, just was never a thought. And this one night, something absolutely insane happened, and then it continued from that house to my dad's house when I moved in with my dad to when I got my first apartment. So I went through from about 15 to 25, like some really wild things through multiple spots. And then it's just been this dormant thing for years now. Yeah, very, very interesting time of life. What's going on there.
That's why Scotty loves horror movies now, because he lived them.
Yeah, there is a marriage there.
Poltergeist, that's my biography.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like The Sixth Sense. It's like, or like The Others. You remember that movie, The Others?
Oh, The Others, yeah.
Like, man.
All right, I'm going to close this out. I in honor of Angie and Angela here, I've got a list of things, and you got to find which one is the lie. It's not hard. So it should be pretty simple. If you know me, all right, again, it's kind of like, that's mostly how I do things. How much do you actually know me, right? So I set rewards for myself during my weight loss journey in 2021. All right, every 25 pounds, I rewarded myself. All right, so here are the rewards. You have to find the lie in here. All right, 2 Funko Pops. Reward number 1. Reward number 2, my back tattoo. For those of you that know or don't know, I have my entire back is tattooed. Number 3, my chest tattoo. All right, the bat symbol with the cross DDPY logo in it and my family's names. Number 4, the Lego Batmobile right here. All right, number 5, $100 for online shopping. I'm not going in order here because so some of them might be like, what? Number 6, Disneyland. So, of those 6 rewards, which one is the lie? Because, all right, so Angie is saying $100 for online shopping. Scotty, which one do you think?
Co-signing Angie.
So you're saying 5 as well? $100 for online shopping? All right, Angela?
Same thing.
Same thing. Jennifer? Yep. Pam?
5 for sure.
All right. So here's the order that my rewards were given. First 25 pounds, 2 Funko Pops, which happened to be Wild Thing Rick Vaughn and Jake Taylor from Major League. 50 pounds was $100 for online shopping because I have to get permission from the wife to spend money. So I got $100. That's where I got my Godzilla versus Kong poster there, some shirts, new sizes because I needed them.
Astray.
What's that?
I led everybody astray.
I know. You started the trend.
No.
I didn't peg him for an online shopper, like for just rando stuff. Like
Well,
all the other stuff is stuff I think you really want.
It was initially supposed to be $100 for the WWE shop, and that would make more sense.
That would have,
But $100 doesn't get you that much on the WWE shop, so I just made it online so that I could get more stuff. Number 4, 75-pound mark was the Lego Batmobile. My son and I put that together over 2 days. Love that one. The 100-pound mark, the back tattoo, and the main goal, the 125-pound mark, when I hit my 175-pound weight loss goal that I blew past at the time, was Disneyland.
Yep.
So
Disney.
the chest tattoo is there, obviously. You can see it. Boom, there it is. But it was not a reward. It was something that I'd always wanted, and thanks to Fast Track Coaching, I put some of my own money away, and went to my guy out in L.A. who did it nice and inexpensive. Not gonna say cheap, but inexpensive, because he's my boy.
Cost effectively.
Yeah,
effective.
He's my boy, man. He did my back and he did this one at the same time. My back took 2 days, 10 hours, and everybody else was charging me $1,200, and he said, I'll do it for $6. So I was like, you're my guy. And so I always go to him. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for our show here today. I want to thank each and every one of my very special guests. This was amazing. This is my favorite Warriors Unleashed show that we've ever done. Excuse me. Whoa, I got all choked up. I got verklempt. But it is incredible to be able to share this day with you guys. 5 years since I began my DDPY journey. Thank you so much. Each one of you has played a part in this. And making it all the more special was also being able to share the new album with you guys and stuff. It's been absolutely incredible.
Wow.
And so just a reminder, guys, pick up your copy of Out of the Darkness, The Spiritual Awakening Journey by our very own Angela Dolina. You can get it on Amazon right now in paperback and Kindle. Also, make sure while you're there, pick up your copy of Vengeance, My First Outing, as well on Amazon, Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. You can get the book. And then, of course, we've already mentioned it a few times, available right now. This is my labor of love. This is 45 years in the making. This got me crying this morning to see this on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, and so much more. Catching Stars is finally available, featuring my songs that I wrote and special guests like Kelly Early, Jacqueline Quellar, and my own wife, Kimberly Sims, who joins me. And here's a really real fun story, guys, before we say goodbye, because it's really hot in this apartment and I'm torturing my family. But last thing. So the song that my wife sings with me on, which is called You Are My Heart, was, like I said, I wrote the lyrics for every song. But my wife, every Sunday at church, writes me special messages every day, every Sunday, and hands them to me. And I've been saving them. And I took those special notes, and those became the lyrics to that song. Aww. And that's where that came from. And so it's a very, very, very special. Every song on there has special meaning to me. Positively Unstoppable is dedicated to everybody on this panel, for DDPY, and all the great things that has happened to me since then. The very last song is especially dedicated to my wife. From the First Hello is actually our anniversary song that I wrote for her a couple of years ago. This is how long in the making this has been. So yeah, just a lot of really personal, special things on that album. And head on over, guys, to positivelypatsims.printful.me, and you can pick up all of your Warriors Unleashed, Positively Pat Sims Show, and Game Night merch. We even have our version of Wrestling Buddies, the Positively Pat Buddy, which they're adorable. My mom actually bought one. I got to see it for the first time. It's 22 inches tall. It's really, really cool. My wife got one will be here Tuesday.
That's about my height.
Yeah. Oh, and my wife just brought this in to celebrate my 5-year, my favorite artist of all time, as I'm trying to get it away from the ring light, a record, an LP, Elton John's Diamonds. Wow. So this is amazing. And it's an exclusive diamond blue record. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. I do have my album that the one you guys just released today. I ordered an LP of it, so my album will be on a record in about 3 weeks. So I'm very, very excited for that. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us here at Warriors Unleashed. I want to once again thank all of my very special guests, Angie Cunningham, Angela Dolina, Maria Picaler, Pam Riley, Jennifer Thomas, and Scotty Boots. Ladies and gentlemen, this has just been fantastic. Favorite show of Warriors Unleashed that I've ever done. And, guys, we always close out this show with an inspirational saying because it's the saying that really pushed me to go forward over and over and over again from my lowest point to my highest. And that is that I want everybody out there to really pay attention to this. I want you to get inspired by whatever you've heard today, whatever you've seen today, or anything you've seen before. Get inspired to be an inspiration. So, guys, we'll see you next week on Warriors Unleashed, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Positively Pat Sims Show. Make it a great one. Love you all, and I'll see you soon. My mouse doesn't want to go there. All right, here we go.
The lights are dim.